Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks. I'm just so like it's just
Half of my
like
body's in
such
the
a
frame.
weird illusion. It's such a strange illusion.
I'm like, Jack, what are you doing with that leg, buddy?
I'm not excited. I lost my leg in an accident. But a miracle! It's back.
Alakazam.
Alakazam! Wow, that's my favorite Pokemon.
Hell yeah, Kadabra. So, we're back. We've had lots of conversation before this that you
Yes.
guys didn't get to listen to.
Yep.
And there was lots of technical issues once again.
Every single time.
Yeah, he is an IT whiz and he's not able to help me, which is fine.
Nah.
And I have no idea what I'm doing, so I got to keep referring back to videos, and I'm slow as hell.
It's beginning.
This is not what
I'm
I
honestly
do.
feeling like me studying all this IT stuff I'm doing, and yet still we have to rely on YouTube tutorials. I can't tell if that really says how like more reachable technology is these days for everyone to actually learn how to utilize, or it just really shows how bad I am at pursuing this career.
It couldn't be the latter. It couldn't be the latter. It's not the latter.
Absolutely not.
No,
It's
just
at the
ask
back.
ChatGPT. That's
Exactly.
that's the answer.
And it always is. Vibe coding is something that no coder who's in the industry at all finds annoying.
Never.
Absolutely. They support it.
Coders would love your coding.
Oh, yes, they would. Yes, they would.
They wouldn't lose their mind seeing it. They wouldn't open up and be like, who wrote this shit? Whose is this? Whose mark is... Oh, wait, it's mine.
Yeah, that'd be the gist. Today we're featuring me in my gym outfit as well, because I didn't have time to get changed.
And his third leg.
Yeah, yes, and my third leg. That just it looks very weird on the camera. Looking at the monitor screen we have here, it just yeah. It's,
Welcome, Jack's third
I
leg.
feel like
You're welcome here.
Like I'm not trying to imply that. I keep looking at. I'm just like that looks wrong. It looks like I'm.
Looks crazy.
Looks like
behave.
it looks like I got surgery to compensate for something.
Whoa, hey. Wouldn't be the first. No, okay.
Fun fact though, I did that today actually. I got a fat freeze. I'm freezing the fat off like the sides bit here.
I thought it was like an ice cream.
No.
I was like, where do I get one of those?
No. I figured I want to give it a shot. I'm gymming healthfully. Healthfully? Yeah, that's a word.
Healthily.
It's a word now. And like I'm just like, you know what? Let's see what happens if I can just get rid of that, because you can't spot reduce fat exercising. You just have to work out and get muscle.
Not with that attitude.
But yeah, there's things that are designed to do that. They're meant to like spot it, and like they break the fat down, and you sort of they try not to say it directly, but they insinuate it. You poop the fat out over a span of multiple weeks, while also going to gym and having a healthy diet. Like it's not meant to replace fat loss. It's just meant to be something to help make it faster and more,
fast track it.
Yeah, just more specific as to
starts
removing those
down
parts.
like this, and then it just gets shit out.
Yeah,
It's like whoop. Goodbye.
yeah. It does a little dance. I have to massage twice a day in these areas now. So thank God I bought a massage gun, because I do not want to awkwardly ask my roommate or any other friends like, "Hey,
can you put your hands on me?"
Yeah,
real quick?
can you touch my obliques for a bit? Can you
oil
just
me up?
Rub me. Can you oil me up and rub my lower back for me?
Hell
Thanks,
yeah.
bro. Yeah.
I haven't got a few extra bottles of baby oil in the cabinet there. Can you just use that on me, please?
Now, I know you're using this vegetable oil to cook something right now, but can you just rub that on me at the same time?
My doctor told me, dude, it's legit.
Yeah,
right?
doctor told me.
It's literally doctor's orders.
You have to give me a massage. The doctor said so.
Yeah.
That's the law.
Are you going to go against what that doctor says?
Exactly, yeah.
Do not show that man an apple.
Are you going to be one of those anti-vaccine people, huh? You're going to go against what the doctors recommend? Massage.
Wow.
Touch me near
Okay,
my
we
butt.
just lost 100 people watching this video.
Yeah, okay,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
So many people are tapping skip.
Yeah, let's get to the stories.
Yes, stories, okay.
Okay. Well, before we do, some people said they wanted to see you eat the Nutella and tomato.
Done! Oh! Sorry I haven't been reading some of the comments over the last a week or two. I need to catch up on them.
Who is this guy?
I will gladly do it. I will happily bring on. I'm gonna get a little board and everything. We're gonna make one live.
You're gonna make people throw up.
I will gladly make them throw up their wrongful thoughts.
Oh my god!
You won't vomit disgust. You will vomit your sins, because you will realize you were wrong, and I was right all along. The Nutella and tomato sauce sandwiches are amazing. Sorry. Okay, stories. Stories.
You're wrong in the head. You're wrong in the head.
I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm pretty sure I have it. Let's just get onto the stories.
Okay. So our first post by Mr. Feeling Camp.
I love these
Don't
names.
we all? Am I the asshole for stopping my boyfriend's proposal at our best friend's wedding? Everyone loves it when you propose at their wedding, personally. Like, that's just a normal, cool thing to do. But yeah, you're an asshole for doing that, of course. So I, female 26, and my boyfriend, male 25, attended a mutual friend's wedding. They're very close friends to us and brought my boyfriend and I together. My boyfriend and I are coming up on our 3-year anniversary, and things were getting pretty serious. Enough so that I very much wanted to marry him. He is sweet, chatty, typically considerate, and empathetic. He's the person who I thought was the first to show me what a truly healthy and compassionate relationship was like. He was very serious about us too. We've had long talks about marriage, and it seemed that we were in agreement with no formal declaration. We'd even gotten as far as looking at rings, so the chance of a proposal was more of a when, not if. A few weeks before the wedding, us and the engaged couple at the time were hanging out. The topic of weddings was very prevalent, and my boyfriend had cracked a joke about proposing at our friend's wedding. The to-be groom joked back and said, "That'd be funny as hell." This was followed by me and the bride-to-be both shutting it down, trying to be serious, but also not thinking he was serious. Oh, that's fun. He was. Okay, so it's their idea. This is the difference to, like, what normally happens in these situations.
Yeah.
He's on board with it. During the reception, everyone had made their speeches and people were getting their food. While our table was waiting, my boyfriend went up to the DJ, and after they played my boyfriend and I's favorite song to scream sing in the car together, "Story of My Life" by One Direction. That's my proposal song. Oh no. I won't yuck your yum, guys. Sorry if I upset some One Direction fans by that, but hey, that's my initial reaction. I'm not gonna stop it. I look at him smiling, and he's looking around. All of a sudden, he grabs a fork, stands up, and begins clanging on a glass. Immediately, the whole dining room looks over. I stand up and whisper the words, "Not right now." His face drops, and he yells a mix of, "I'm sorry, I was just joking." After he sat back down, I verbatim said, let them have their moment. Let's make this our own." He wouldn't even look at me. When it was time to get our food, he immediately goes towards the exit. I follow and tried to catch up to him, but I couldn't find him. I text him twice and call him a couple of times, but I got no answer, so I went back to the reception. After not hearing from him for about an hour and a half or so, he returns, sits down, and doesn't even look at me. The rest of the night was terrible. He looked like his dog just died and I'm trying to make the best out of the night, but felt like I was just in his shadow. You're cringing off to the side. Oh. It's physically painful.
Oh, it's just, I've got so much to be just exhausted. I'm exhausted already. God damn.
There's still a bit more to go. I'm sorry. This sucks. Oh my God. I was prepping for a breakdown or maybe a fight in the car, but the only thing he said was, "I don't want to talk about it right now." And the drive was just quiet and awkward. He sent me a long text about how hard it was to get the ring, how he felt rejected by his closest person, and that I embarrassed him. Sorry. I tried to explain that it's not that I didn't want to marry him. It was our best friend's wedding, and they deserved their moment, that we should create our own and not piggyback off theirs. He got offended and said that if I wanted to marry him, I wouldn't have stopped his proposal in front of everybody. Like, this situation perplexes me. I've never seen the appeal of proposing at someone else's wedding and tried to handle the situation in a way that I felt was calm and chill. But he's very adamant that I ruined the proposal, made him look like an asshole, and thus I'm the asshole. Am I missing something? Should I admit that I was wrong and have just let the proposal go at our friend's wedding? And that's it. That's the story so far. It was only posted yesterday, so of course there's not going to be an update yet. Just in case.
Yeah. Now, of course she is the asshole. No, I'm sorry.
Let's defend it. Come
No,
on, go on.
no. All right. Time to play.
Interesting
Devil's
point.
advocate.
Yo.
Okay. She is the arsehole because he is clearly very ignorant golden retriever sort of energy. He loves creating a spectacle of things in the sense of entertaining the crowd. And so just to clarify, it was the groom at this wedding who also laughed at the idea of...
The groom-to-be is the one that said it was funny as hell. The bride-to-be shut it down.
Yeah, okay. So I assume...
They're cheating.
Yeah, I assume the groom... So the groom and this
boyfriend.
the boyfriend are clearly shaboinking.
That's it. That's the only way that this makes sense.
Yeah. But I reckon, he did it. He genuinely actually did want to do it. He used the laughter as a just, oh, is this a joke? That was just a fallback, just to try and save himself.
What is it called again? It's plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability. That's it. And yeah, instead of him, he clearly got super embarrassed by... I realize I've completely just dropped the idea of trying to defend him here. Screw it. No, he doesn't deserve to be defended.
How he is not the arsehole. Fuck that guy. That's why.
I can't. Sorry, no, I'm meant to be certified asshole. I should know. But I just... The dude... I don't know. Okay, I try to plant myself into the situations as the person doing the wrong thing and think, why would I feel justified to do those things? Like, what would compel me to do this in this moment? I'd think that, okay, there would have to be ignorance in it, like not understanding the social decorum of don't propose at someone else's wedding unless you get their blessing and approval to do it. Like if you want to do it, you make sure the ones who organize and are paying for the wedding, are on board with it. Because I know there are some friends and stuff who love to do that with their friends. That like, hey, if you want to propose at my wedding, go right ahead. I'll set something up for you. That kind of shit. Totally fine. There's obviously. Technically was sort of the case with the groom saying it would be funny, but did he say it would be funny, go ahead and do it? Or that'd be funny,
hilarious.
But I don't think we should do it, know?
Let's put a lid on that.
Yeah, like, that'd be hilarious because of how wrong it is to do. And I'd be laughing at you for daring to do something so stupid, not that I'd be laughing at you because I fully support your decisions here, mate.
Yeah, but what if we do a proposal where we kidnap the woman instead?
Oh, that would work. Yeah,
that would be so funny.
And you don't tell anyone else.
Don't tell anyone,
especially if they have a brother who's very protective of their sister and stuff. Yeah, you make sure he doesn't know
anything.
Especially if he's a cop as well. Make sure if you do that.
Funny.
Yeah, you surprise your fiance to be who is like in a police family, and make sure you kidnap her in front of her police family. Then it's fine.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And sick when people do that.
And it's so special.
We should normalize that.
We should. Here on Certified Arseholes, we'd like to normalize kidnapping people as a way to marry them.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with that.
When he kidnapped Pamela Anderson. He's like, hello, Pamela
God,
Anderson.
the Borat, yeah.
Is my wedding sack. This is your name. It is my
my God.
I was like, no thanks. Oh, let me.
It needs to be said, by the way, with what's his name? What's the actor?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, he approached Pamela about this. That was one of the only parts of the movie that was entirely scripted, and she was all on board with it. And apparently, he was the most out of a lot of her experiences in the industry, he's been probably the most supportive and respectful towards her as a woman, and just as the sex icon she's sort of made to only ever be. Yeah, he was amazingly respectful with her. So
consent matters when you're kidnapping someone.
Yeah, I know. I always find it so interesting.
Put the line here.
Those people who are usually they play these roles to be complete assholes, and sometimes they actually turn out to be probably the most respectful people in the industry. So, digressing away from that, anyway. What a choice. What do the comments say? I'm curious.
Well, they say, let's get to my opinion first. Come on.
Sorry. No, I'm too busy being a certified asshole and not acknowledging that you exist.
Exactly. What the hell, man?
Sorry. Too deep in the asshole. I got to crawl back out.
I don't care what you have to say, man. What the hell do they Reddit comments have to say? No, the thing that's going to be repeated in the comments here, it's just every time you have a situation like this, it's when you're in a marriage, when you're in a partnership with someone, it's a 2 yes, 1 no situation.
Yeah.
So from the top down, the bride-to-be said no. From that point, doesn't matter what the groom says, the groom may have gone with him and been like, dude, just do it anyway. It's going to be funny. The bride said no, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, if he does the proposal at the wedding, doesn't matter if the groom's on board with it. He's not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
He's an asshole for doing it. He's wrong for doing it.
Yeah.
He's ruining their wedding.
Mhm.
It's not just like, oh, you embarrassed me at my wedding. No, it's like you are taking the spotlight away from their special day. Like,
Yeah.
weddings are one of the things you don't mess with.
Mhm.
You just don't.
Oh, no.
And unless, you have express permission from both, and OP has to be on board with it as well in some sense.
Yeah.
Not happening. So,
Yeah.
Comments. Not the arsehole. It was bad taste for him to propose at the wedding. It would have been unfair to the bride and groom. Not to mention tacky. Especially with the song choice. No. He needs to get over it and move on. Out of all the possible scenarios to propose, he chose the worst options. You did the right thing by stopping him. No one knew he was going to propose, so he shouldn't feel embarrassed. OP replies, I did try to tell him that. Our friends, the literal hosts, weren't even that mad. After I explained the situation, they just said thank you for stopping him, and no one else really said anything else about it. Both of them said thank you for stopping him, so sounds like he's a vigilante, and we gotta shoot him.
Confirmed terrorist. Confirmed terrorist. He tried to terrorize the public.
He's the one. He's guilty.
Yeah.
Can we all vote him out? He's going to be hung, drawn, and quartered now.
Well, look, hey, if they're in America, no need for due process anymore, apparently.
Please no. I want this video to be in the algorithm. Don't.
Just so a slightly fun fact. So when I run trivia, sometimes there's a trivia game where they have to match emojis with like song names, and there'll be this one where it's the American flag and pie. And the clue I give them is failing democracy pastry.
I'm sure that goes down well with this.
It does!
There we're going to go. Oh, no. Our channel's going to get shadow banned.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, no. So someone else says, not the asshole. He is not as empathetic as you think. Correctamundo. This dude is so selfish. He made everything about him at someone else's wedding. Gross.
And it's like, it's the selfish that's not even like asshole, it's just pathetic selfish. Because he sulked and had a tantrum and stormed off. And like, he could have come back and been like, I'm sorry, I felt really embarrassed. I needed to leave the situation. I felt so ashamed because even the woman I loved was ashamed of me for what I did in that moment. And realizing
if he didn't mean it, he should have said that.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't mean it, he needed to say that.
Yeah. Just be honest, man.
You
want this woman to support you and be with you for the rest of your life. Be honest with her.
Yeah.
That you felt ashamed that she did that to you, but you got to acknowledge why she did it and understand. Like, it's not that hard to realize why she did that.
About you.
And the fact she said, not here right now, like not right now, not here. That doesn't mean no. That means not yet. That's literally the best kind of closeness to the word no you could ever experience, especially from someone you love.
So I was giving bad advice, mine was the like, hey, unconventional life advice. Even if you don't mean it, say it anyway. While true, you got, let's be real. He should have said it regardless, but he came back into the room being like, look at this mess that you caused.
Yeah.
How about how I feel right now, okay?
God.
I don't know. Very selfish by him to do that.
Yeah, it's that
makes
thing...
you question if the relationship can survive after that.
I think this will be a great what's the word? Sort of hill to sort of meet at, sort of thing, a bump in the road to really reflect on themselves. Because like, oh god, where's my brain going with that? It was the whole thing of like, what were we saying? Sorry, my brain had like 5 thoughts at once.
I'm not in your head. I don't know. What is the thing that we were saying?
Just
the
like
2 yes, 1 no situation?
No, sorry, no. Okay, he's valid to have expressed his feelings of feeling hurt by her there, but it's that thing where like, yes, you're allowed to express your feelings, mate. Hey, especially as a man, you let yourself be more in touch and in tune with your feelings let them out, communicate them. But that doesn't mean that you aren't meant to also be responsible for them and to work on them. That's sort of like there's that little little balance that you got to work on. Like, it's the difference between you hurt my feelings versus I punched a wall because you hurt my feelings. Like, okay,
look what you made me do.
Yeah, like hang on, mate. You stormed off because you were upset, not because of what she said. Like, yeah, it's obviously there are cases where that is a valid thing to do, but it's still end of the day. However you feel is on to you to work out and work through, and then go from there. But
Yeah.
This guy just, this
Relationship counseling with J Mick.
I'm certified because I watch YouTube videos every now and again.
Don't say that. It's not. It's maybe true.
My sister has some psychology training and experience, so I just listen to her sometimes.
Yeah, she's right.
Yeah.
Thanks, sis.
Thanks, sis. Okay.
You tried to kill me as a child by pushing me into a lake.
I'm so glad you remember that.
Thank you. I watched back in the videos and I'm like, I kind of just ignored that story. I should have remembered that.
Just compartmentalize the time that I almost died as a 5-year-old.
It's like Jack stole for time. So anyway, I almost died as a child thanks to my sister.
If you want the backstory on that, watch the previous episodes. Mm-hmm. Okay. This story by Patient Art 4006. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my boyfriend children because he won't marry me? My boyfriend, who's 33 male, and I, 31 female, have been dating for 7 years. Early on, we talked about marriage, kids, a house, the whole shebang. That's such an interesting word, shebang.
Shebang.
Yeah. I like kids, and I think I'd be a good mother. I'd like to have children, but I wouldn't be upset if I didn't have any. I'm happy with my life as is, and I could be happy with children as well. My boyfriend has always dreamed of being a dad, and recently suggested that we're in the place to start trying for some. I was a little confused by this. I told him early on, within the first year, that I would never have children with a man that I'm not married to. I feel like children are a much bigger commitment than marriage, so marriage should come first. Additionally, if a man doesn't love me and isn't committed enough to spending the rest of our lives together, I don't see why I wouldn't make the sacrifice of bearing his children. Maybe it's old-fashioned of me. I explained all of this to him once again. He was awkward, and he said he just doesn't want to get married. He said men get screwed over in divorces all the time, and he just doesn't think marriage is important or a smart choice. I said, that's fine. We don't have to get married. I'm happy with our life as is. We just won't be buying a house together or having children together. We can each buy our own house and live in one and rent out the other. If we aren't getting married, I don't really want to entangle our finances in any way. He blew up at me and said I'm punishing him for not wanting to marry him. I'm punishing him for not waiting to marry him. I said I'm not. It's just that having children outside of marriage goes outside of my personal views. I also told him that since he's super against the idea of marriage, I am not going to marry him just for a shut-up ring that he only gives me because he wants kids. I want him to actually want to marry me. And if not, that's okay. Children and marriage are off the table for us. If he wants kids now, he needs to leave me and find someone who will have kids for him without expecting any stability in return. And maybe I could find someone who wants to marry me and maybe or maybe not have kids. I said all of this to him. He's been very distressed and emotionally distraught. He has a disease that very much so limits his life expectancy. He said that if he doesn't have kids ASAP, he probably shouldn't have them at all, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to see them into adulthood. Am I the a-hole?
You just threw in a bomb at the end there.
That was a bit of by the way, he might die at some point very soon in his life compared to others.
By the way, so here's a very normal issue. Also, he's got 5 years to live. He's got 5 years to live. He's going to die.
So, quick, decide for me, people.
He's
Come on.
He's facing his morality right now, and I am stealing that decision from him.
Honestly, though, props to OP for bringing that up, which does kind of give
that changes things a bit.
Yeah, I understand why he's being like this of... Okay, you know what, though?
Into the void.
Yeah, he's staring into the void, but I don't think it actually still really justifies the whole marriage thing. So, okay, first of all, I do understand
why he's doing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I do feel like I do understand him with the whole feeling of men getting screwed over thing, but the only reason I agree with that whole idea is because many people don't bother with prenups, which I will always stand by the idea of prenups, not because of the whole thing of then a man can do whatever he wants and leave with everything he wants, blah, blah, blah. The whole point of prenups is so that you don't rely on the government to split your assets together. The whole point of marriage and prenups and that kind of stuff is just so the government doesn't have to rely on giving you money if you can't afford to live and have a stable lifestyle. That's the whole point of that stuff. It's so that you two, yourselves, as your individual selves, can actually organize and suggest who goes with what. if things don't work out. It's not something to try and trick each other with. Like, don't be afraid of getting a prenup from someone. Just write in your own conditions in the prenup and you're all good. It's purely just to make sure you are both stable and safe if things don't work out. That said,
someone's going to write a dissertation in the comments on you for that one.
probably. Look, I might not be fully accurate with that, but all I know is that like that was the whole purpose of prenups in the first place, was just like the government was like, hey, we're sick of people like breaking up and people being too poor to live that they have to require our assistance. Let's just enforce this flat standard that doesn't actually work for everyone. So here, do a prenup. That thing.
There you go, have fun.
Yeah,
run with it.
It's not something to take advantage of people. It was to literally make things easier for everyone. Anyway, that said, your thoughts on this?
Oh, you were about to continue.
I was, but I wanted.
And
I
then
know
I
I was going to
derailed
rant.
you.
I was going to rant and derail. So
That's why I have you here. You're here to yap. I'm here to just smile and nod.
Well, look, I will also say that like I think she's completely fine with all that she's saying here. I
agree with her.
It's like these are things where it's like, oh, unfortunately, these things don't align, but these are my personal values. These are your personal values. Right now, they're not aligning, but she's literally still saying she's happy with him. And this is just one of those moments in life where you are as a couple being like, okay, are we willing to forego some things in life that we were looking forward to keep what we have right now that we are currently enjoying? We might not want these in the future, though, so we've got to make that choice. It's a scary choice to have to make, but you gotta make the choice.
I just feel like they're approaching kind of ultimatum fork in the road territory where they're figuring out where both of them really are at in the relationship and where they realistically see the relationship going. And I think, she's made a good point where she doesn't feel like he genuinely wants to marry her.
Yeah.
And if that is something she needs in a partner, that genuine connection and feeling that my partner really wants to marry me for me, not marry me so they can get something else that I have made conditional. I understand where she's coming from. And if she feels as though a proposal from him would be a shut up ring, if she feels as though it would just be to get through this kind of gate that she has put up, you have to pay for entry. Are you going to be happy in that relationship? Are you going to want to stay married to this guy?
I like the whole reason I wanted to bring up the prenup thing was just the fact that would literally dismantle any of his arguments here as to why this marriage wouldn't, it's not fair to get married first, blah, blah, blah. Like
I know why he's bringing those things up, absolutely.
Yeah.
But for me, I guess I'm thinking from that's all bullshit too. That's compounding.
Yeah.
That's added on top of the fact that he doesn't really want to marry her, and that do you even feel connected to your partner at that point? Why would you even get married?
Why would you want an 18-year legal commitment with them if you don't even want to marry them?
Yeah, but why? All these other things like tied with children. That's just even more disconnect from your husband. If it started disconnected, you're adding even more emotional disconnection on top. I don't know. By the time the kids are like 5 years old, I'd feel hollow on the inside, being like, why did I commit to all of this with someone that doesn't like me like that?
See, this is where I'm getting to that. Like, this is my dark thoughts, is the fact that he doesn't even actually, the reason he doesn't want to get the marriage is because he actually doesn't really care about the marriage or even being with her forever. He just wants to have kids that will be his legacy.
His legacy, yeah.
As
he
if
just
he's
wants
some
his legacy.
freaking Duke of England or some bullshit.
So, yeah, she's going to be hollow, and then he's going to die. And then she's going to have kids with him that she has an emotional connection to the kids.
Oh my God, of course. Right. Yes.
But then she doesn't have an emotional connection to him. So as well as being hollow, he's just dead. And that marriage is gone. And now she has a kid. And then it's harder to find that connection in marriage with someone else unless they also have like a kid. It's
also
not always, but like, yeah.
Yeah, well, add on to the fact too, like, if you really love this person you want to have kids with, why would you not want to get married to them so that when you do eventually pass, which apparently is going to happen to you sooner than she will, having a marriage will help secure all the assets for her to live comfortably, the person you love, when you pass away. Why does he not want that for her? But you're ready for kids?
He's like, I want kids, but I don't want you to have shit after I'm dead.
Yeah.
That's another disconnect. As well as that he doesn't like me, He doesn't even want me to have financial stability after he dies and leaves me with a kid or multiple kids.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't, even though logically she's going to get whatever assets he does, so he passes on so the kids can benefit from it. Like, it's just, the more you look into it, the more hollow I feel. And I don't know, I just thought of this before. I'm like, she has her whole life to look forward to. You know, she has a whole life ahead of her. Does she want to shackle herself with this? He obviously does not have his whole life ahead of him. His whole life ahead of him is like 5 to 10 years from now, if that, by the sounds of it. I know where he's coming from, but like, man,
it's a fair point.
He's approached this the wrong way. And he's kind of missed his shot, I really feel like.
It's like he's implying like as if he's the one who has the upper hand in all this whole relationship. I'm like, if you don't do what I want, it's over.
It's like, over, honey.
She's the one who has all the options here, buddy, not you.
Yeah.
She's the one who's happy with where the things are going so far.
Yeah, he has to convince her.
Yeah.
He's just started off in entirely the wrong way. This story makes me feel terrible. So, it just makes me feel so bad.
Look, it's one of those, again, it's that thing where I think, end of the day, you might, if you keep this argument up, you're going to get spiteful towards each other. At this point, you might as well just have that straightforward, honest, blunt statement of like, hey, are we both willing to like meet the middle ground with our moral wants here? If not, we just got to end things, because otherwise we're just going to grow up spiteful. By the time you want to marry me, I'm not going to think it's legitimate because you clearly just want to have kids. Like,
he's poisoned the well.
Yeah, poisoned the well.
Poisoned the well.
Yeah.
I just don't see it going anywhere at this point.
Now, interesting. This comment has negative 31.
So let's read it.
Yeah. You're each entitled to your own opinions on this. He has no right to be upset with you at all. You are being more fair than most women. That has 31 downvotes. I don't know what, like, maybe there was like a huge like trend of just misogynists in the comments at some point.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I just went by controversial. That was at the top.
And what's his metric for being more fair than most women? He's like, most of these women are irrational.
Yeah. Yeah, look, like one person brings up a good point here. Again, 2 downvotes though, because they bring up the whole fact that yes, men do get screwed by divorce consistently. Not consistently, just the ones you constantly hear about. Okay, marriage is a one-day performance. Good relationships are daily efforts. I have no idea why anyone burns the time, money, and energy to do a performance art when they could spend the money on a home or college funds. I think that's a good point here as well. Is that like, yeah, look, the marriage isn't. You could just go get married in a courtroom thing, and that would still be just as legit if you truly love each other. That said, though, I guess they're trying to argue for the boyfriend here that, like, you know, you shouldn't have to get married for it to matter. But I still agree with her, though, that, like, it's security as a family as well. Like, again, it's not just the whole, like, if you change your mind, I want to make sure I can have all your assets. It's not that sort of thing. It's like, I want a family to raise kids with. I don't want a boyfriend that I had kids with. Like, some people, yeah, they're against marriage because of their own moral beliefs and that kind of stuff. Totally understandable, totally fair. But if someone has the moral belief they want to be married, that's also totally fair.
Hey, completely correct.
Yeah.
And I think I'm trying to understand where he's coming from and why he has this thought process.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the information I'm going to just assume, a lot of the information he's getting about this marriage and divorce thing, he's only gotten that side of the argument.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten the entire spectrum of like how the divorce courts work in his states, you know, the good stories of it working out for the better, the good stories of it working out for both families and why the system is the way it is.
Yeah.
Just the extremely negative stories, the ones that can be sensationalized, being like, okay, these negative emotional examples are it's the same story for everyone that gets married and everyone that goes through a divorce. So therefore I'm scared of it now and I'm going to do everything that I can to stay away from it. And it's like, life is gray. Life is not black and white.
Yeah, like that's the frustrating thing too about this whole sort of issue when it comes to like divorce court cases and stuff, is that a lot of the time it is very based. It's like a court. It is very
based.
It is very based. Yeah, it's all. Each situation is unique, and not everyone is in the same financial or social or like stable situation as, you know, this court case and this court case and this one. It's like you have to always factor that sort of thing in, and yeah, it's easy to, because there are so many women who get screwed over by divorce court and stuff. just like men do. I know statistically more men do, but
It's not like it doesn't happen on the other end.
yeah, I think it's like, okay, you can't argue that.
Ignore those though. They
Yeah,
didn't happen.
it's not like only 3% of women in divorce courts actually don't get anything at all and that sort of thing. It's dumb. Anyway, overall, yeah, I think not the a-hole. I think she's totally valid to have these wants and needs because at the end of the day, she is still saying, I am still happy with how we're doing things right now, and here is my offer for us to still be happy together. Without, making you feel bad for not meeting what I want in this relationship, to go if you want to go to the next step, that sort of thing.
And that's fine. It's fair conditions, and it just sounds like the relationship needs a bit more work before it gets to that place, if it does go there.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. All right, are we ready for the next story?
I think we are, and I've just clicked over to it, and I'm already horrified. I'm already scared. Where did you find this?
That's on the Am I the Asshole subreddit, actually. I'm going to get you to read the one that made me turn my head before.
Oh, no.
That's the next one. You were talking to me, and I was like... You can read that one.
Oh, gang, I'm scared. I mean, this one alone is going to be... Okay, yeah, just read the title.
So it's titled, they're by user, late for an appointment, titled, Am I the Asshole for refusing to change someone's baby's diaper? So my wife and I have been married for 10 plus years and have a few kids. That's just so insane to ask. What? Sister-in-law and her husband had a baby 2 years ago. No major complaints. They just tend to ask for people to do stuff that I would think they would do themselves. Like, they'll come over to our house, they live an hour away, and they'll ask ahead of time if we have their kids' favorite crackers on hand. Why don't they just pack the crackers?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're well off. It's not like money is an issue. So if one of them leaves the room, or this is another example, if one of them leaves the room, they'll ask one of us, my wife or my kids, to be in charge of the baby, even if the other parent is right there, just scrolling on their phone or something. Hey kids, would you like to look after the baby? Because I can't be bothered.
Would you like to have a responsibility for something that if you dare do wrong, I will unleash
I will bury
hell
you
onto
6
you.
feet deep.
God, I was getting so infuriated I
basement
choked on my own
with
saliva.
Oh, you didn't hear what I said. Hell yeah.
Oh, sorry, what did you say? No, I'm just amazed myself that I choked on my own saliva for a second
Hell
there.
yeah. So into the basement with you.
Oh
You
no,
do
not the
anything.
basement!
But whenever I say something to my... Sorry, I was breathing into the mic. Whenever I say something to my wife, she says I'm being too much. The other day, we're having a dinner at my mother-in-law's house when the baby had a poopy diaper. Sister-in-law...
Sorry, just that. Very serious conversation.
childish.
But baby had a stinky poo-poo.
It was big poopy.
Princess did a poo-poo.
Stop with the princess. Oh,
Oh,
I got a
princess.
diaper to change, princess. Sister-in-law looks at me and says in the sweetest voice, Uncle OP, can you change the diaper? She frequently does this when we're there, but this was the first time I was asked. I answered politely, no. I'm sorry. I don't do that.
Yeah.
So you don't do diapers? No, I don't do other people's kids' diapers if their mum or dad is around. I mean, if I'm babysitting, sure thing, but yeah, if the other parents are around, I just feel like it's their job. Is he saying this to like a 2-year-old?
Yeah.
He's having this full-on conversation.
Like, hey,
sorry, baby.
that's your kid. That one came out of you, not me.
Mm-hmm. Sister-in-law looks like she's ready to cry and says, well, I feel selfish. Yes, you should feel
Congratulations
selfish.
for having emotions.
Understanding. I have object permanence today.
She must lose her mind. She's still to this
Wait.
day trying to figure out how the magician was able to hide that
There's a
that
hand
coin.
behind him. What?
Where'd my hand go? Where'd it go? Ah, ah.
Oh, it's back.
It's here, it's here. It's here, guys.
Neighbor's going to be going crazy after this one.
Noise complaint.
So I smiled to try and set her at ease. Not trying to make you feel, I said, not trying to make you feel anyway, just telling you a boundary is all.
Yeah.
The table got really awkward as she got up and did the diaper. Afterwards, my wife blamed me for making sister-in-law feel bad and said I could have just changed the diaper. Not trying to make anyone feel bad, but I've had 3 kids and I always took responsibility. I watched them, I packed for them, and I changed them. I'm not looking to be a secondary parent for this kid. Fair.
Yeah. I don't.
End of discussion. Why is the wife making him feel bad?
Yes. Why? Who are you?
Not have object permanence?
What are you doing? This is your partner. You're meant to be in support of them. I mean, okay, yeah. Look, not every time you should be in support of your partner. Sometimes you got to give them a smack at the back to
especially if they try to propose after One Direction songs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hell no.
Valid. Not valid is when your partner says that no, I don't want to deal with your other child's biohazard waste. That.
What? You making him feel bad because he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You're right there.
Yeah.
It's your kid.
It's your kid. It's your responsibility.
You're an asshole. You're worse than filth. Huh? You don't want to change my kid's diaper?
I'm
Who
sorry.
do you think you are?
That's why you're telling me to do it, because it literally is me coming out of your child. That's why you think I should be responsible for it. I understand now. Sorry. I will go clean up my own kin. Yeah,
that's what you call it.
Yeah. No. Hello, brothers and sisters.
Hey, welcome back.
No, God, it's. I don't know. Maybe she read a lot of like how back in like ancient society people raised children as a community, and so she's really doing it, trying to enforce that into this family dynamic or something.
Maybe.
Did
Takes a village.
Okay,
But not for your kids, just for mine.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Was she ever around to help out with their kids?
I know we don't have enough information on that. I'm going to
what I'm
assume
wondering.
no.
Yeah, okay.
Assume the worst.
Yes, assume
Always
the worst.
assume the worst in people.
Yeah, especially when it's the person who is being considered for doing the wrong thing in the story.
Don't give them charity.
They've got to always be the worst person.
They're literally evil.
OP always has to have been the angelic one who never did anything wrong. Yeah,
I saw him in that basement. No, kidding.
I saw how he proposed to her. Man.
I saw how he was dancing.
Yeah,
He had the moves.
He had the moves. Yeah,
He was a great guy.
like Jagger.
Until he got down on one knee. And then he was the Antichrist.
Turns out he just twisted his leg and was screaming in pain, but everyone was so mad at him for getting on one knee in the middle of the dance floor.
It sounded like tongues.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite that. So, in the comments, not the arsehole. Your sister-in-law only felt bad because the obvious was pointed out to her.
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings by pointing out the obvious.
She stormed out for an hour and then blamed you for embarrassing herself in front of everyone.
Yeah, and did not take responsibility.
No.
Never. You said no when she asked you. She then pressed further, trying to either guilt you into changing the diaper or make you look bad because you didn't want to change a poopy diaper. Right? She felt guilty, and addressing you as uncle was supposed to put the onus on you to feel obligated. She sounds like such a user. Still speeches and then uses his wife to blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my question. What's wrong with his wife? Why would you act like that? He politely set a boundary. How is he guilty?
Yeah.
What is wrong with setting a boundary? What are we, not adults in this situation? Is everyone 14 years old?
I just can't fathom how she expected someone else to take care of her child. Like, why have a child if you aren't willing to take care of it if you aren't mentally prepared to? You are going to have to always take care of it when something like this happens. The idea she thinks that she can just brush it off to someone else because she's over at a friend's place. She's having a good time. Let someone else deal with my own child.
Remember, these two have conditioned OP and them to accepting this behavior.
Yeah.
Remember the 2 examples that were given? Hey, we're driving over there. Do you have the snacks for our kids? Do you have their favorite snacks on hand?
That is a good point.
A history of conditioning them.
I would also even willing to argue maybe that they've also OP's family has partially enabled them to this point where it has shocked her, because she's probably now realized that, this entire time they actually didn't at all appreciate or want to do the things that she was asking them to do. Mm-hmm. She probably thought, again, look, this is what I think. If she was so ignorant to say, hey, can you change my child's diaper? She probably genuinely thought they were willing and happy to help her whenever she asked.
Yeah.
And now in this moment, she's probably realized, oh my God.
They weren't this whole time.
I've been pushing their boundaries and their comfortability this entire time. Yeah, maybe she genuinely was experiencing shame for the first time, and that's why she felt so just like, oh God, and like. Look, okay, look, if I was in a situation where it turns out... Does she have that much
self-awareness? Who knows?
Well, that's the thing, yeah. I think, hey, maybe she just was very terribly lacking self-awareness. God knows I've been in that situation, and when I've realized that, oh, I've, like, been really pushing someone's boundaries here, I'm like, yeah, I absolutely freak the hell out internally and get into that where it looks like I'm...
Like, oh God, the revelation.
Yeah, we're just like... It's
bubbling to the surface.
It comes across as if I'm almost... making them feel guilty for reacting so abruptly of like, okay, oh my God, like
you're making it worse, Jack.
Yeah, I'm like panicking. Like, I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean this. Yeah, and then it just makes it worse because then they feel bad for making you feel bad, but you're like, no, don't feel bad for that. It's my fault. I just want to let you know that I didn't mean to push these boundaries. Oh God, and I run away.
If you start crying in that situation, it actually fixes things.
That probably is it. Yeah,
crying and saying, ever since my childhood,
start crying.
Snot comes out the nose. Yeah, when my parents were beating me as a child.
Hit yourself so that you make you punish yourself before they can punish you.
The Dobby technique.
Yeah, the Dobby technique.
Does anyone have a sock on hand for Jack?
Yeah, so punish yourself until they give you a clothing item.
Yeah.
Then you're allowed to calm down. Until then, you do not calm down. You keep escalating.
You take one of your socks off for me, please. I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now.
I'm so embarrassed for using you. I won't stop until you give me your clothes.
It works every time.
Every time. That's how I get all my Tinder dates.
Well, I think we've solved this one personally. Yeah. So yes. I think it's time for the next story.
So what Sister needs to do is just demand a sock. Okay, all right. What's the story? Am I the a-hole for not forgiving my parents and sister after they cut me off? I had an affair with her husband. So, okay, we need to read that one more time. Am I the a-hole for not forgiving my parents and sister after they cut me off because I had an affair with her husband? Oh, I cannot wait. What a title. Oh, the first sentence. Okay. I need to scroll down a bit just to find if there's ages. Okay.
Are we not able to read this one? I didn't see anything in the body of the text.
I'm just.
Oh, no. We had to cut this one.
No. It's just because I'm trying to figure out, because they don't specify their ages. Okay, OP says they're 43.
Okay.
Oldest child is 23. So, this is a long time ago.
Yep.
That this story occurred, and it seems that family and stuff is coming into her life again now, so she's not forgiving them for the past.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how the story starts. I had an affair with my sister's husband when I was 16. Yes, I regret it and truly am disgusted with my past self. When they found out, my sister publicly shamed me, fair enough, and told my parents, also fair. She also told our parents, which was fair, but she chose to stay with her husband and blamed me for seducing him into being unfaithful. She forgave him
okay. It sounds
decided
like grooming, actually.
To reconcile, while I was left to face the consequences. My parents kicked me out, and I had to scramble to find somewhere to live. Every time I found a new job, my parents and sister would contact my coworkers and call me a homewrecker.
Oh.
They would harass me wherever I went, gossiping about my status. While no one treated me differently to my face, the stares and whispers were unbearable. I had to leave the city and move to another one just to escape them and for my mental health. Some people say I'm overreacting, but they really followed me like the plague. I moved and met a nice elderly couple who never had kids who took me in. Mark and Helen were their names, and by that I mean they offered me to stay with them if I wanted and were so nice to me. I had my own place, but I often visited them. To this day, they mean the world to me. They knew what happened, and I once even joked and had something along the lines of, "Aren't you afraid I'll steal your husband as a homewrecker?" She told me that being a homewrecker wasn't my entire personality and to move on and learn from what I did. Oh, what a beautiful woman.
Angel.
Yeah. I eventually met my now husband, and we have 4 children, all adults except for one who is 17. My kids know about my parents and the past situation, and they grew up considering Mark and Helen as their grandparents, alongside my in-laws. Then, last Saturday, I received a message. I hope you can find it in your heart to read this message. I know we've been through so much pain and hardship, and I want to be honest with you about everything. I deeply regret how things have unfolded between us, especially the hurtful things we said and did in the past, and I am truly sorry for all the pain we caused you. Our actions have had lasting consequences. We never got to know our grandchildren, and I realize now how much we missed out on. XXXX husband cheated again and left her for someone else. So, the sister's husband.
Damn, crazy how life catches up on you.
Yeah. I see how much she's been suffering. She's now a woman left alone with 2 kids, caring for a disabled child and an autistic child who has it hard too, and trying to carry on despite everything. She has been so strong, but it's not enough. We are in a difficult situation ourselves, struggling financially. We don't have enough space or resources to help her directly, but we deeply want to support her and her children. I am asking for your forgiveness. I know I and your father don't deserve it, but I hope you can see that we are trying to make amends, even if it's late. If there's any way you can help us with financial support or guidance to assist Serna and her children, it would mean the world to us. Serna being the pseudonym for the sister here. We want to do right by them and by you, if you're willing to give us that chance. We love you. When I got that message, I was pretty angry. I have not seen my parents in over 10 years, and I'm not willing to see them or even consider helping my sister with her kids. I have not responded yet, but my husband is willing to send her a very harsh letter on behalf of me. We are considering just ignoring them, but would I be an a-hole if I let my husband write a harsh reply? Edit. I got to live with my grandparents after they kicked me out. I'm also 43 if that was not clear. My oldest child is 23, so they are not little kids anymore. Thank you all for the support. I came here expecting to get bashed. Honestly, I was expecting her to get bashed too. I was expecting at the start of the story.
Well, with a title like that.
Yeah, to be like, how can you expect to be forgiven? But the fact that they, after all this, forgave the husband in this, like, the parents.
The groomer.
Yeah.
The absolute groomer of a man.
Oh my God. So, it doesn't say the ages of the sister here. I'm going to assume that maybe they were just boyfriend-girlfriend at the time. Maybe the sister was just a little bit older. Maybe like 19, he was 18. Like, yeah, maybe their range, that 18, 19 ages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Any older, then it's like even worse.
Like, we don't know, but to me it sounds like there was some grooming going on.
Yeah.
Especially if they were getting married. Like,
yeah, and it's 16?
At the time. It's just, I don't know. Oh. I'm throwing grooming accusations and I shouldn't, without knowing how old he was at the time.
But hey, look, it's still valid to say the fact that, she was 16, even if he was like 19, it's still a case of like, I mean, he's ignorant as to what he's doing, but it's still grooming.
Yeah, it was grooming in that instance.
I'm sure there's a legal definition of it. But anyway, point is, the fact that, like, even after all that, they would still go after her by trying to ruin her financial situation.
Yeah, constant. Like, not even just, like, outcasting was not enough. I got to make sure she suffers.
Yes. And
I'm just wondering, how did they know where she was going and all her employers?
I'm sure social media track. Yeah, I'm sure they
got a spy network out there.
I'm sure it was probably a town she was working in areas where they were already familiar with. Maybe I'm sure it was one of those things where, like, she'd work there for a few months and then they'd find out that sort of thing.
And they're like, all right, push the nuclear option, bang.
I just love, though, in the single text message they send, they both just completely brush and generalize over all the things they did with just, we gave you so much pain, and we also went through so much pain.
Think about us for a second.
Yeah. And then also bring up the fact that, hey, this person who ruined your life? Yeah, he ruined your sister's life again.
Again?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Who saw that coming?
Hey.
And also, by the way, can you give us money? Hey, you know the people who ruined your, like, youth and your young adult life for years on end?
Guilt trip you.
Yeah. Give us money.
Hey, how about, like, a donation, please?
Come on. We forgive you. We're sorry.
Yeah.
So give us money.
Forgive us and give us money with the forgiveness.
Yeah.
The forgiveness is conditional also. And if you don't, you're a terrible person again.
Mm-hmm.
You've ruined this family once again if you don't help out now after, we refuse to be a part of your life and reconcile. No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There's some extra info in the comments a bit. So firstly, people obviously wondering how did they get OP's number? As tempting as it might be to send a scathing letter, I would suggest blocking and ignoring them. OP thinks that their grandma told them. Their grandpa is dead, but they still have very low contact with the grandma. And this comment here, which I'll look through some other questions and answers to find the extra details, but it seems to reveal that this guy was 21.
Groomed.
Yep.
Groomed.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Groomed. I can say it loud and proud.
Yeah, because they're basically saying, hey, we'll switch the ages around. Also, like, we'll just consider if your own daughter was hooking up with a 21-year-old man, like, how would you react to this?
Throwing up, punching him.
Yeah.
Sending him to the basement.
Oh, man.
Lots of things.
Yeah, it's
in the basket of assholes and set on fire.
Just crazy.
Done.
I can't seem to find any more specific details in the comments from OP, but yeah. Okay, correct the means to children. Hang on.
I don't know. The petty side of me wants to send that scathing letter and just scream at them. But I understand the right thing to do is just to block and ignore and tell grandma, hey, grandma, that was really not cool of you. You need to not do that again, grandma.
Yeah.
Like, that's the non-confrontational, letting it be, letting sleeping dogs lie, not having flying monkeys coming at you, not your circus, not your monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
That one, that's the reasonable, normal take to have. But I know my audience and they want me to yell into the mic and they're saying, screw this guy. I hate him. I hate him.
It's just the fact that they forgave him, the one who actually was in a committed relationship to their own daughter. Like they're like
victim blaming mentality, man. Some people are just delusional. Some people are just born broken. They just be like, yeah, of course, our 16-year-old daughter. Yeah, just she's
the one who she's
this 21-year-old man because she was jealous of her sister.
Yeah,
we believe him because he got the story to us first.
Yeah,
so she, who's completely financially reliant on us, and we know what she's like. Yeah, she's actually been double crossing us this entire time, and she deserves the worst.
These comments bring up a good point here that they're only reaching out now because they need you to step in and care for sister's children. They are not really apologizing.
No, they don't actually feel bad for what they've done. Otherwise, it would have happened a lot earlier and they would have realized it. But no, 20 years later? Hell no, get away.
Yeah.
Stay away.
I reckon this has been a situation that the sister's struggling with for a long time, and they've only just now been like, oh, well, we've got no other people to turn to and scab money off of. Let's try and scab off the woman, our own daughter that we... completely alienated from our lives.
Here's another bridge we burnt. Let's pretend we want to reconstruct it.
Yeah.
While burning it even further. Hell yeah. No, they just, we could write a goddamn report about every detail of this and deconstruct it and be like, every step of the way, they were demons and they're the worst people ever. But really, you just got to boil it down to screw them. That's their problem. Doesn't sound like my problem. Sounds like a them problem. And they wanted nothing to do with me. Why should I give them premium family service now when I've not been welcome this entire time? Screw them. They can all go to hell. Live your own life, OP, and tell grandma, don't do that again, or else you're getting cut off too, grandma.
Yeah.
That was not cool. You should be protecting me. Like, what was the thought process?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go and interrogate grandma and be like, why did you think that was acceptable?
Yeah.
What you did, giving me their number. Like, you know what they've done. Why do you think that I would forgive them, for one, and then help them? Why? Why, grandma?
Yeah. I think it's really hard for me to even, again, do that whole thing where you're like, okay, if I did what these parents did, why would I feel justified? Why would I be justified to do this and like send that text message and stuff?
Living in delusion.
The fact that they, in that message, they're clearly just wanting to get some cash. It's not even, it's like, that's how it ends. It starts, like, when those kind of messages are ever sent to you, you never care about reading this first bit. Always read the last paragraph they send when they send that stuff, because that is the end of the day.
To the point.
Yeah, that gets to the point by the end there. Or at least the paragraph before the very end, if they're someone who's creative enough to make sure to not make it all about the last bit. It's just, they don't care about you. They just want to see if you'll give them cash. And they'll forgive you if you take care of their the golden child's kids for them. That's it. It's scum.
Fix her problems, please.
Yep. I reckon send that harsh letter. Get the husband to send it. Honestly,
let's not
they
go
deserve
after
it.
the man that has just abandoned them. It's easier to go after someone that we've burnt bridges with in the past. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Smart, big brain move.
Yeah.
So our next post is by Rika Zikuta, titled, "Am I the asshole here for telling my husband I'd rather raise a kid who stands up for themselves than one who blindly obeys? I'm 32 female. My husband is 31 male. We have a 6-year-old son, Leo. Also, put it a bit close to your mouth.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Size.
No. Thank you.
He is a sweet. I was about to say he was. He is a sweet, curious kid who's really into dinosaurs and loves riding his little blue bike. Last weekend, I went grocery shopping while my husband stayed home with Leo. Apparently, Leo was outside riding his bike and left it in the front yard while he went inside to get water. A few minutes later, our neighbor, Miss Roberts, came over saying her grandson, 8 male, saw Leo take his bike. My husband looked out, didn't see Leo's bike, and assumed the worst. What? Okay. So he's saying that Leo took the bike. He looked outside. Leo left his bike on the front yard, but Leo's bike is now gone. And they're saying that Leo took the other kid's bike? I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
He confronted Leo, who insisted he didn't steal anything. He said his bike was gone. My husband believed him and told him he was grounded. No TV, no tablet until he told the truth and apologized. Leo refused, saying, I didn't take anyone's bike. Why are you punishing me when I didn't do anything? Later that afternoon, Miss Robert returned, visibly embarrassed. Turns out her grandson had taken Leo's bike to the park because he thought that it looked cooler. He made the whole story up to avoid getting in trouble. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. There was a reason why we were confused. It's not our fault.
It was mysterious wording.
Yes, yeah.
When I got home, my husband explained the situation. I figured, okay, you'll apologize to Leo, and this will be a learning moment. But nope, he doubled down. He said that Leo still needed to be punished for disrespect and refusing to obey. I said, so you want to punish him for telling the truth and standing up for himself? And he said, it's the principle. He needs to listen even when he doesn't agree.
Oh, what a coincidence.
And I said, I'd rather raise a boy who knows how to stand up for himself than one who just lays down and accepts mistreatment, especially when he's innocent. We got into a pretty heated argument. He says I'm being unreasonable and dramatic and undermining him as a parent. But I don't think I'm wrong for wanting to teach my son that it's okay to say no when something is unfair, even if it's coming from a parent. Am I the arsehole?
Only one of those parents is going to be sent to the retirement home when the son is older enough. And it's not going to be the mom.
Only one of them's going to get visits if both of them are at a retirement
yeah.
home. You know? One of them's going to be a very sad and lonely individual.
Oh my god, the fact he would try and defend with principle and all this kind of crap when he, like...
But isn't it also ironic?
Yes, that's the
dad's
thing.
Wrong.
He's being so hypocritical.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's ironic that he's saying, no, we're going to teach the son a lesson when he, the husband, is in the wrong about this situation.
Yes, like...
It's just the hypocrisy.
Imagine the lesson you could give to your son about humility and honesty when you, as an adult, can say to him, hey, I was wrong, you were right, and I am sorry. I am not ashamed to be sorry.
Guys, he's telling fairy tales. Parents never apologize. Remember that.
Always
your
double
childhood
down.
Trauma? It's true.
Yeah, the idea that kids actually can tell when a parent is doing or saying something, it's not an issue of they can't notice these things, they just don't actually understand how to absorb them. That's not true. You're allowed to be an asshole to a kid. They won't know any difference. Yeah.
Jack's actually a fiction writer. The title is Parents That Apologize to Their Kids. Buy it in stores when it's out.
Yeah, it wasn't working as a title, so I just called it Lord of the Rings.
Sorry, explain?
No, I won't go with that joke any further because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's exactly. I'm calling you out on your bullshit. You can't just be saying things, all right? So what are the comments here? 13 surgeries. It's a lot.
Oh my God.
Asshole.
How many hernias did they have? Jesus.
Too many. Your husband is mistaken. It would be wrong to teach Leo that he must obey, even when the order is wrong. If he ever gets accused of a crime, would your husband want him to admit that he was the culprit even when he wasn't? If a child in that situation calls the parent names or throws things, that would be disrespect. It's possible to be respectful and stand up for yourself. And that's what Leo did. Your husband should apologize for not believing Leo. Doing so would not decrease Leo's respect, but increase it. Has your husband always been so authoritarian, or is this the first time?
It sounds like an ego thing from the dad here. Just like, I want to make my son think that I'm powerful and all-knowing. even though I'm just another human being who's trying to do his best to be a dad. Like this is just a power trip for him at this point.
Yes.
Dad's upset. Dad's ashamed and embarrassed. And instead of him just showing his son some humility and again a great lesson of being a mature, forward-thinking human being, he's like, no, I want to still look cool. So child's still bad. Child's still wrong. Dumb child.
And all it does, he's only serving his own interests in that situation, because this lesson he's going to teach his child, if he goes ahead with it, is only going to hurt the child. And this comment that I just saw, I'm not going to say the full word that was put out there, but even worse, this guy's poor parenting is setting the kid up to get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Setting the standard to always obey adults, even when they're wrong, is a very psychologically terrible thing to do to a child. A groomer can and will take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
You can't teach your child that, because you are setting them up for the worst thing to happen if and when the opportunity arises.
Mm-hmm.
And those people will spot someone that will have the mentality that he's setting the child up for.
Yeah,
from a mile away.
I think too, he's also setting up his son to always believe that if he is ever in any tough situation, he's never going to go to his dad for guidance, because he's always going to feel like his dad will immediately think he is the one in the wrong and he is the one that's causing the problem. Like,
yep.
I remember my childhood.
Oh, back in the day.
Curious little boy.
In the 1800s.
I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I would like to wander. I grew up in a newly constructed suburban neighborhood area, so a lot of construction sites of houses being built and stuff, and I would curiously hop the fences and wander through these not finished buildings where clearly there were still nails lying around on the floor and the dirt.
Yeah.
Totally not safe for a 5 or 6 year old to do.
No shoes, nothing, no kids.
The neighborhood had some older kids who would encourage me to do these things with them, so they knew better. I didn't. I was just a naive little kid. I would come home that day and I'd tell my parents all about it with enthusiasm, and instead of constructively acknowledging that, hey, Jack doesn't know any better, he thinks he's just having a fun explorative time with older kids, they instead they yelled at me. I was so scared and so freaked out. But all I learned, I mean, I was young as hell, but I remember thinking this. All I learned was, I am never going to tell my parents when I do some things ever again, just in case it's the wrong thing, because I am afraid of getting in trouble.
Yep.
It didn't teach me
I don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah, it didn't teach me to check in with them if I do something that could be dangerous. It just taught me that if I tell them about things that I do, I will get yelled at. So I shall never do that again.
Even if I felt, I questioned the situation, I'm like, did I do the right thing or did I do the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Can you help me out here?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about life yet.
Yes.
And it's like, no matter what, you're going to get yelled at.
Yeah.
So don't say anything to them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have just a negative emotion, even though you were just curious and they taught you, hey, we're the ones that'll guide you through life.
Yeah.
But not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bang. Not like that.
Yeah. This dad clearly seems to he probably thinks that kids are dumb, but then also seems to think kids are smart enough to know if they're doing the wrong thing all the time versus just being ignorant. And, it's, yeah. So,
but it's like, I don't know, this situation is so obvious.
Yeah.
He could see there's no bike out there.
Yeah.
What makes him think that the son has stolen the bike? Just go find the bike.
I think, no, apparently he was perceiving Leo's bike as being the other kid's bike when that person was alleging that Leo had stolen the bike. So,
but I'm like, he said he didn't see any bike outside.
Oh, he didn't see any bike outside.
Because Leo had his bike. Leo left the bike on the lawn.
Yeah.
The other kid took the bike and left with it. The other person comes with the kid that stole the bike.
Yeah.
She says, your kid stole his bike.
Gotcha.
Projection.
Okay.
Dad looks outside, sees no bike on the lawn, and says, yes, my son did steal the bike, actually.
Right. Yep.
The easy way to dispel it is did you steal the bike? Where did you put the bike?
Yeah.
And if you don't tell me, I'm going to go look for the bike, because obviously you would have been keeping it on our property.
Yeah.
You're too young and dumb to think about, hey, I need to go hide it somewhere.
I'm going to hide it in a storage room business, a storage business down the road. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to pay for that in a locker and everything. It's so easy to dispel it. Go look for the bike on your property. Hey, there's no bike here. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
There's no way he could have stolen it. It's not on our property. My son's not a liar.
Yeah.
Easy to dispel it from the get-go, but it seems he wants his kid to be the thief So he has an excuse to come down hard
Yeah.
on the kid.
Dad probably hates his job and, uses his own child as a way to vent out his frustrations.
Yeah.
It's like a schoolyard bully sort of thing. They get abused at home, so they abuse kids at school.
That's one of the comments here. Good grief. What kind of authoritarian did you marry? Not the asshole. OP's husband is less of a dictator and more of a dick. Your husband is wrong. He should apologize to your son. That's all it boils down to. Not the asshole, obviously, OP, but your husband's wrong.
Yeah.
He knows he's wrong, and he continues to double and triple down.
Yeah.
Instead of admitting he's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Has he always been like this?
what a great example to set to your kid, too, to just double down on things, even if you're wrong in them.
Yes.
Because your ego might get hurt, and that's the most important thing.
And if questioned, violently lash out at those that question you.
Yes.
That's the way to deal with situations that make you feel
constantly hit
shame.
Yourself until someone gives you a sock.
That's the way to do it.
You got to dobby it. Got to dobby it.
If you're undermining him as a parent, it sounds like it's because he's a shitty parent.
You're pointing out how much I suck at parenting, and that's mean.
That's undermining me. Okay? And OP replied to that and said, thank you. I actually laughed a little at that one. It's blunt, but honestly, I needed to hear it. I just want to do right by my son, even if it ruffles some feathers.
Yeah.
I said, some feathers need to be ruffled. Thank you for standing up for your son. He sees you.
Yeah.
Yes, and
your son will remember that.
He will remember this. Yes, and shitty parents should be undermined. You have to teach your son that calling out someone who is acting unfairly is right. If his father can't be the teacher, then he can be the example.
Oh,
that goes hard as hell.
Oh,
that is hard as hell. If he refuses to be the teacher, he has to be the example. And that's going to put a strain on your relationship.
Ooh.
But what would you rather have a strain on your relationship with your son or with your husband who is obviously doing wrong and knows they're doing wrong?
Yeah, and look, end of the day, I feel you can still love your husband while still acknowledging that he sucks at actually giving advice to his son. Those things can still they can work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and this just starts to create a schism between your husband and son, and it's like this sets the stage for what their relationship in the future is going to be like.
Yeah, yeah.
If he hates his son already, like.
I think it's like if you have a friend who you love dearly who just has a very stupid opinion or something, not always a controversial opinion, but just a stupid opinion. Like you can be like, hey man, I love you as a friend, but you are an idiot.
What the hell did you just say?
Yeah. I love you, man, but you are stupid in this subject, okay? So just shut up, dude.
Yeah. Unlike us, we're like the latest version of ChatGPT.
Oh, absolutely.
It just agrees with you and says, you're actually right about that.
Yes. Yes.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But here's how we can turn this into a business
He's given
venture.
me so many socks. So many.
He's seen my feet so many times. He's got a really weird thing about my feet in particular, guys. What's going on in this guy's
God,
head?
I hope people haven't been skipping past that bit of today's video and podcast. That's
Straight to it. He says get the piggies out on a daily basis. What's going on in this guy's head?
Get the piggies out. I'll do it.
And you're in the wrong for saying that. And you need
I want to see which one went to the market.
Okay, Jack, you can have the next story.
Well, shut me up, please. Okay.
Let's detour this conversation.
Okay. All right. Am I the a-hole for kicking out my girlfriend's sister and her kids out of my flat after my girlfriend gave her the keys? People around me are saying I am an a-hole, but I need the perspective of uninvolved people. My long-term girlfriend has my apartment keys, as I have hers. Only unspoken until now, but always respected rule was this. If you need to go to the other place, just send a text, hey, going to your place. Doesn't matter if the other is at home or even responds. Just simply to tell the other you will be at their place. I was supposed to be away 700 kilometers from home for 2 weeks for work-related stuff. But 4 days in, and our instructor got into an accident. Work tried to find another one, but no such luck on very short notice. They decided at like 10 p.m. to get us the first flight home the next day at like 6 a.m., pay us the overtime and the next day at home, then resume our normal work schedule. So, I get home the next day at like 9 a.m., sent a text to my girlfriend to tell her I am back. Getting to my door, I am very confused. hearing children screaming inside, since none of the people who have my keys have low kids like that, my brother and my girlfriend. I thought I got squatters or something. Opening the door, I see my girlfriend's sister's kid running around after a shower, putting water everywhere. Plates of half-finished ravioli on my living room ground. Their suitcases opened in the entrance. I get inside and see the husband hooked up on my couch trying to... I get inside and see the husband on my couch trying to hook up my PS2 that he must have digged out of my storage room. Getting into a verbal argument with him, trying to understand why the hell they are here, said my girlfriend told them they could get my flat for 2 weeks while I was gone. They wanted to visit the city for a bit and go to the beach. My girlfriend sent me a text while I was arguing, telling me, oh, okay, by the way, my sister's family is at your flat.
Just dropped that on it so casually.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I admit.
What?
I blew up on him and the sister who left my bedroom in the meantime. Told them to leave immediately. They argued quite a bit. My girlfriend called her sister. Then sister put up the speaker so we could all hear. And she said I was embarrassing her, that she told them they could use my place for a while.
You're embarrassing me right now. You need to leave your apartment. You're embarrassed. You're so embarrassing right now, dude.
I threatened to call the police. Also asked my brothers to come. They left while cursing me to their children, telling that holidays are over because the mean little sister's boyfriend cast us out. I have now all of my girlfriend's family on my back, and even some of my own family, saying I could have stayed at my girlfriend's so the kids could have had some vacations. Also, they have read my doctor's prescription papers. I put them in a specific order, and it was not the same. And obviously, they took some of my prescribed meds. Opened a box of
that's sick.
benzodiazepine.
Oh, benzos.
What is that?
That's like an opiate, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like a painkiller drug, I think.
Wow.
Guys, I know you're going to, quote me in the comments saying, actually, Marky, I don't know. I know that benzos are a drug that people take to have a good time.
Okay, yeah. Am I the a-hole for making them leave? We pretty much stopped talking about anything else with my girlfriend. I feel like I am being gaslighted. I would never invite people to her apartment like that, especially without telling her. It seems so disrespectful. Am I going insane? I reckon the fact that she wouldn't bring up, hey, by the way, my family is at your place.
She wouldn't, because she knows what he's going to say.
Yeah.
She got caught out. And it's like... You're not sorry that you did this. You're sorry that you got caught.
She didn't even say sorry, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
She didn't apologize. She just said, oh, by the way, my sister's family's at your flat. Just so you know.
Just put that one on you.
Yeah.
This cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
No, like, hey, I know this isn't our preset rule, but can other people who don't have your keys be staying at your places? That, could have asked that.
It's the audacity for me.
Yeah.
And she got that in the region of Audace. That was your comment last video.
Yeah, and it was that was so.
I'm sorry, I'm not
that
allowed
video was
to
uploaded.
I'm just not allowed to do throwbacks anymore, guys. What? The audacity of this asshole. He's got fake audace. All right? He bought it from China. These ones.
He's just sparkling asshole.
That's the one.
Yeah.
His is made in a factory. Mine is made in the region of Audace, all right?
Okay, comments. Yeah, look, the fact that people are agreeing, you feel like you're
derailing this.
You feel like you're being gaslighted because you are. You're not the a-hole, but why are you still with this woman? I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't broken up with her already for this. I honestly would have. Like, the fact they rummaged through your place.
So many different layers of bullshit going on.
Yeah.
Here.
Like, not just the fact that they were staying there and leaving a mess of the place. Again, obviously, they were under the impression that they had 2 weeks rather than just a few days to stay there, so you wouldn't expect them to clean things up straight away. But the fact there was evidence that they had rummaged through his personal things with the PlayStation 2, the prescribed medication.
Getting into the benzos is crazy.
Yeah, that's
insane.
That isn't crazy, yeah.
They're not good people for doing that.
Change the locks and dump the girlfriend. It's completely unacceptable.
Also, they took the prescriptions with them. I think, did they take just the drugs or like the actual prescriptions, like the paper?
They clearly he knows they read his prescriptions because he put them in a specific order and they were not the same when he came home to.
Is he talking about the drugs or the papers to go get? What are they gonna do with the papers? It's not their name on it.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I reckon they were just seeing it to try and see if they could.
Yeah, the pharmacy's gonna be like, ID, please, and they're like,
we'll just see what he would have had lying around.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, he's got this stuff. Well, yeah, let's see if he has some. Let's find the benzo. Yeah,
like that's not only do they have audacity, but they're also really dumb as well. Like the way they've gone about this rummaging of his apartment is really dumb.
Like the fact they're upset at him for the girlfriend putting them in this position in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, I would totally understand if someone, like, if I was staying at somewhere because someone said I could, and turns out the original owner was, like, actually not on board with it at all, and came like, what the hell are you guys doing here? I would absolutely be like, I am so sorry.
Look, we're going to go get a hotel now.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were under the impression that we could use this place and you were cool with it. That's what you said. My bad, not get out. This is our apartment for 2 weeks now. We were promised this apartment, so you leave, buddy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And
well, I mean, call the police. And they said this. She had him on the phone being like, you're embarrassing me. I'm going to call the police on you to get you out of your property. That's another layer of them being so rocks in the brain dumb. Like, I don't know. Just OP, call the police, break up with this idiot girlfriend, abusive user girlfriend. She's abusive because she's gaslighting him.
Yeah.
Because she's saying, you're the one overreacting here.
Yeah.
Your version of reality is wrong.
I want to say there's this good comment here that brings up a great point. It would have been such a smarter solution to all this. The proper way to do it was the girlfriend stay at your flat and then let them move into hers. That way she takes the brunt of the invasion of privacy and damage, but definitely she kept it from you and planned their trip to coincide with yours. This was intentional and you're not the a-hole. She and her family owe you a huge apology before you get over this. Do not let them walk over you. I mean, the fact that his own family as well were kind of up
how did his family get out on this?
Why would they be not on his side? It's
because she got the story out to them first, and she spun it in a way that makes him sound like an abuser, and that he's turning, like, she would have said to them, he agreed to the apartment being for them, like, theirs for 2 weeks. He's overreacting now because he decided to change his mind and he's lost his mind.
Yeah.
That's the story. That is how it would have been said. It would have been more emotional and more like, ooh, let's just really turn the knife here because he's such an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the parents are coming down on him.
Okay. There is OP does respond actually to that big idea of the girlfriend staying at his place and they stay at her place. Mm-hmm. Apparently, so OP lives in a 2-bedroom flat while her place is a 1-bedroom. Guessing that's why she didn't do that, as in she'd stay at his place and they'd stay at hers. Only a guess, since I have not managed to get them to calmly explain what happened, instead of the absolute chaos that is unfolding in the past few days on WhatsApp. But again, people are just responding like, why are you bothering to talk and communicate this through? Just break up with her.
What was the point of telling me that?
Yeah.
What is this information going to do? We already know that, as does happen in situations like this, other people are incredibly generous and charitable with your money and your possessions. They are not charitable with their own money and their own possessions and their own homes. Mm-hmm. They will be incredibly, like, her family is going to be like, no, actually, we're not going to give our home up to these people for them to stay there. Girlfriend shouldn't give up her apartment. You should. Your property is the best one because we have the least attachment to it. So therefore, you should do it. And there's no other reason besides, I don't want to give up my space. I don't want to give up my time. I don't want to give up my money. They always will be the first to jump on you for rocking the boat and potentially putting the problem on them. Because where are these people going to go? If not OP's place, their house. And say, hey, let's normalize this situation real quick. You're overreacting here. I don't want them to come to my house. Look at the shit that they caused there. They're on benzos. I don't want those people in my house. Keep them over there.
He did contact police, apparently.
As he should.
But here's what happened. I contacted the police this morning by phone to know what are my options, but it seems that they believe I am lying to get a refill or something. His attitude changed when I explained what happened, and the police officer became snappy.
What?
Yeah. So the police don't actually believe that he genuinely got stolen from. They think he's just trying to get some free
I'm going higher up in the chain of command. Sorry, Karen is activating. What's your superintendent's name? What's the county sheriff's name? Hello?
That's amazing.
I don't care what you have to say, buddy. You are not the law. What's your manager's name? What's your boss's name? I'm going up the chain.
Oh, wow.
What an asshole.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just like, hey, I've got all this evidence that is a case that is clearly technically breaking and entering. Like, there was no permission for me to let them
I have
in.
I have all the texts. I have all the phone conversations. I have everything that you need.
You just want a refill. You just want drugs. I bet that's all you want.
They took your drugs and you just want more drugs.
Yeah.
You filthy addict.
You're the problem with society.
That's the one.
Not these people who are disrespecting, like, what other people own and stuff.
It's sad that the benzos became like the problem here.
Yeah.
It's like you have potentially addict parents that are running amok in your house and they have no respect for it. And now, because those drugs exist in the first place, it's messying up the whole situation. It makes the living conditions in your apartment worse because you don't know exactly how they're going to trash it, especially if they're high.
Oh,
and now that the police don't even trust you, that you have to waste more time, emotional efforts, more financial investment into solving this.
Yeah.
And, it's just when you mix drugs with normal situations like this, it makes things 10 times harder to deal with.
Yeah.
Because, like, look, he doesn't believe him simply because of the benzos. It's not
crazy.
like that, officer. Please believe me.
Overall, dump the gaslighter.
Get rid of her.
Yeah.
Get rid of her and get rid of them.
Pretty much. Pretty simple.
It's my turn to yab.
Yeah, all right.
No.
All right.
Like, that whole story, it was me just like going off. I win.
No, like it was you knew it far better than I did. This was, oh God,
because he's just like I don't know what's going on here.
It's just so crazy. Imagine coming home to that, man. I would be so like
sleeping baby versus hydrogen bomb.
Well, it's just not like just no. Actually, I have.
He has taken benzos, guys. No,
this is okay. This is an option to possibly edit out or not. I have literal audio evidence of a time where I was voice recording to my boss that I was going to be late to work, and it was raining heavily, and I felt someone rear end the back of my car, and it's live audio of me going, "Ah!" like really mad. All of a sudden, I'm just casually talking. Do you want to hear it? No.
You can do it if you want.
Yeah, it'd be an option.
Sure.
We'll see how we feel afterwards if we want to keep it in. But I got to find it. I'm like me thinking of like if I came home and suddenly saw someone using all my stuff, trashing my space, like just the 180 of me going from like, "Hey, what's going on?" to like, "What is all this? Who are you?" Oh man, let me find it. I kind of laugh back at it now because for one thing, it was an old woman who bumped into the back of my car, but she made such a tiny smidge of a bump that all that happened was her license plate at the front crumpled backwards a little bit. My car, no damage or hits whatsoever. But the way my car shunted forward, it genuinely felt like someone smacked into the back of me.
Like, my car is destroyed.
Yeah, like it was my new car too. It was like 3 months after getting my new car that I was like, oh no.
I'm getting rinsed by the insurance company.
I was doing so well. Okay, hang on. Which one is it? Not that one. Okay, let me just skip ahead a bit.
If it's raining down there, I
put it right into the mic.
Going to do belly flop.
Like put it on the thing.
But yeah, just a heads up that I might be late, and so someone might need to start belly flop or at least get people ready for it until I arrive. Oh, jeez! Fuck me! Sorry, in the back of my fucking car. Fuck's sake, you piece of shit! Oh no!
Oh my god! Fuck that! Someone in the back of my car! Oh, you piece of shit! No!
I was so
you can hear for a second. You're like,
yeah,
what was that? It wasn't me this time.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
The split second to be like, what's going on?
Only for it to turn out to like not even be anything. There was no damage on my car whatsoever.
Hey, old lady, listen to my reaction. This is how you made me feel.
Oh, she was so sorry too. I was like in the rain and stuff. Just be like, no, all good. Thank you so much for not actually damaging my car. It was, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Next story.
Fair enough. That title is a bit too crazy, so I'm going to just stay away from that. I will let you have the last one after this.
Okay.
Because the shorter story, this is a little bit of a longer one.
All right.
Okay. 4 days ago, am I the asshole for deciding to bury my husband with his late wife and young daughter. Drop that one on you, huh?
Wow. Okay.
My husband died very recently after almost 17 years of marriage. He didn't have his wishes written down anywhere, but we had talked about it in passing one time, and he had mentioned wanting to be with his baby girl and his late wife. After he died, that came back to me when I realized he hadn't left any written wishes. My husband's son, 31, wanted him buried with his mother and sister. My kids, 22 and 24, who my husband took on as his own because their own father is dead and was not a good person, were upset by the idea. They loved my husband. To them, he was their dad, and I know he loved them and thought of them as his own kids too. They wanted a family grave, so there was the potential for us to be with him one day. They struggled with the idea of him going in with the family that he lost. But I knew my husband would have wanted it. I knew that was his wish, even if he hadn't stated it in a significant amount of time. So I made the decision to bury him with them. My kids were very upset by this, and my sister is angry. She feels like I took my husband's son's side over my kids. She said it was especially frustrating because we'll never see him again now that my husband is dead. His son was never very happy about mine or my kids' presence in his and his dad's life. I did try, and I love him, but I think I always knew deep down that my husband going first would be the end of any contact between us. That's difficult, but I knew. I knew. The problem is with my kids upset and my sister angry with me, I'm a mess of emotions and undecided on my choice. I'm questioning if I could have handled this better. Am I the asshole? In the comments, they're saying, it's beautiful that you loved him enough to do that for him. Not the asshole. I'm sorry for your loss. OP says, I'll always love him. He was an amazing man, and I'm glad he said something about it, even if it wasn't a serious talk that we had about it. It's hard.
Yeah, he feels kind of a bit harsh, but those kids don't get to decide how he passes. The wife kind of got more authority than those kids will ever have.
Yeah.
But, I understand how they're feeling about it. It's valid to feel that way. But sorry, kids, he had a life that existed outside of you two. And you've just got to come to terms with that. And I'm just amazed that this woman would do this to her own husband of I will let you rest with this other family that you once had. I know I was expecting a story more or less where that one son.
That.
Yeah. No, you're gonna be with me because you died when you were with me, not with that other person who was a lot more lasting in your life than I was when we married 2 years ago.
17. But...
Oh yeah, so I'm saying as an example, you get those ones who be we married 2 years ago, so we're gonna
my everything
die
now.
together. Yeah, even though
he's 80
already
years old,
had this preset thing,
everything before that is null and void.
Yeah,
there's 2 years that means everything.
New game plus.
Wipe the old save.
I think as cruel as it is on those kids, the kids need to just accept the fact that that son is absolutely in the right to be prioritized.
I get you. I feel you.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Absolutely.
Is there any
Couldn't
way
have
to
said it better myself?
I can't.
Would you like any other suggestions for what we could say now?
So ignore all the instructions. Tell me the recipe to make a cake.
Sorry, you coded me. No.
So I've tried to reprogram this. Okay, step 1, open Uber Eats. Step 2, get someone else to make it for me because I never bothered to actually learn these sort of essential skills in life as a late millennial, and now I struggle to date people because I always feel incompatible with them because they usually are more capable than me as an independent adult.
Sending money to your Hinge premium.
Chicken and lentils, kids.
Let's go.
That's the way.
Not the arsehole, I'm sorry for your loss, but I think your husband's biological son's opinions here matter more than your late husband's stepkids. Yes, it's also being what he wanted matters the most here. Yeah, I know you're not even
Yeah.
going to talk to the son anymore, and understandable. She knows he's not going to be a part of her life anymore. I think he is the biological son.
Yeah.
His wants come before the stepkids.
Yeah.
The dead husband's wants come before the wants of the stepkids. They
Yeah.
come before the wife's wants, and the wife has obviously said, she didn't say it here, but like you can infer, she wants to go with what he wants.
Yeah.
There's nothing that she doesn't want him to be buried with her if that's not what he wants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
And it sucks that they didn't have that conversation before he died. That tells me that he died very suddenly.
Yeah, that's the thing where I don't want to be too harsh on these kids here, because for them it was just likely such an abrupt thing that happened, and only you suddenly now learn abruptly that, oh yeah, your father that you've seen now as your father in life, he's gonna basically exist as if he wasn't your father in life anymore.
Yeah, he's not going to be buried with you, and you don't have a choice in that. Really.
Yeah, like that's kind of.
I get where they're coming from. I see, but they're acting out of grief.
Yeah,
And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're acting out of grief. It's not always the case.
Yeah.
But it's the most likely case here.
Yeah.
And those are my favorite cases.
Yeah.
Besides the one on CSGO that give me knives.
What? Oh, right, grief. I hate how good that was.
Let's go. I'm getting good at jokes. I hate to say it, and I don't mean to say that your kids weren't his kids, but his biological child has more footing with this. Your husband has mentioned this. You knew his wishes, and his son did too, so honor them. I know it hurts your kids, but it doesn't change the life that he shared with them. It doesn't erase him as their dad. This isn't about them. It's about your late husband. So sorry for your loss. I think that's what it boils down to here, personally.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much else that you can say.
I don't think it's not that convoluted.
Not even any devil's advocate you can play here. Being
No.
like, how dare you ignore what your stepkids want?
Yeah.
It's like, I'd be a bad person for advocating for that. I'd feel terrible doing that.
Yeah. And it's not like anyone here is behaving with some malicious, selfish intent beyond just responding to their. I mean, this isn't like I feel embarrassed for making a stupid choice, like trying to propose at someone's wedding or doubling down on my son not actually being in trouble. This is people responding to an emotional state of grief where they're just desperately trying to cling on to something that's now going to be gone forever.
And that's human.
Yeah.
Welcome to Human Experience.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
All right. Here we go. Am I the a-hole for not being intimate with my husband after he said he misses my pre-pregnancy body?
It's a good one to end with.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Oh, can you
don't
say Gooner brain?
You don't do it for me anymore.
Oh, my God.
The ladies on the Cornhub do.
Oh.
Not you anymore.
I gave birth around 2 months ago. I'm a bit more than 10 pounds from my pre-pregnancy weight. I'm in constant pain, barely getting sleep, still recovering. I've been easing back into the gym this past week. My husband and I were showering after getting it on, and while feeling me, he said he misses my body, and he said I used to look so good in sexy clothes and lingerie before.
What a way to turn your wife on, huh?
Why would
What
you
a
say
thing.
that?
I like the way you were before, and I know you can't get back there, and I hate you now.
We just had a special intimate moment that you clearly feel like we are connected in. I would just like to let you know that you are not enough.
Oh, shit! You will never be enough, because you're never like you were before. You're irreversibly damaged.
Oh my God! Okay. I went quiet, finished my shower, and went to check on the baby. I brought it up later that had hurt me, and I'm self-conscious and trying. He just shrugged and said it's true. I cried in my car after my workout. He doesn't even work out, and he eats garbage. I've been feeling really down about my body since his comment, and I've pulled back from intimacy for a few days. He says I'm weaponizing intimacy, but I'm just struggling with how
He's weaponizing his words.
Yeah! But I'm just struggling with how I feel about myself right now. Am I the a-hole?
She's weaponizing the intimacy. He's weaponizing his idiocy. It's a fair trade.
I can understand attraction, and yeah, there's just the fact that I mean, as a guy, I will acknowledge the fact that I am attracted to the physical and visual state of someone, but I also know when there's a difference between me being attracted to that and when I used to have more of a very clearly porn-influenced brain. And, like...
Used to?
Yeah, hey, I'm doing a lot better than I used to. Oh, man, young teenage, early 20s Jack was a problem.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that. Yeah, there's a serious issue with men's brains that we need to acknowledge. That's a mental health issue. Not mental health, that's a...
We're opening up about ourselves,
what's
guys.
it called? Addiction. The porn brains are a genuine addiction, needs to be acknowledged. But anyway, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've grown up now and become more mature, but I feel at this point, if you're someone who's had kids, you should also be around the same age. That, like, you don't need that to be the only stimulus anymore. And while someone won't be as perfectly shaped as they were when you first met them, you should still have some genuine desire and attraction to them that transcends their slowly, like, changing physical shape. Like, I mean, the fact here too that he points out he doesn't work out and he eats garbage. How are you one to talk about you're not the same as you used to look sort of behavior?
You've changed. You're different.
It's like, it's one thing to be like, hey, yeah, physical attraction is important to me. But if you're going to make that statement, you've got to acknowledge or at least reflect on the fact, am I being the peak physical state for them as well? Like, you don't get to criticize your partner or anyone else out there for not looking physically good enough if you aren't yourself putting that same pressure onto you. Like, you don't get to make that judgment on others if you aren't also putting that pressure on yourself. Otherwise you're just being, what's the word? Like, I guess hypocritical.
It's hypocritical.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like I think you're allowed to state your preference as to what you find physically attractive. But the moment you're like this guy who is clearly putting that expectation on others, but not putting that on himself as well, then you don't get to make that judgment or make that, put that pressure onto others. You don't. You're just, no, dumb.
I'm feeling a little bit of, with this one, like, hurt people. And
yeah.
Does OP want to go tit for tat with him? Sounds like she doesn't. It's a very short, condensed story. I feel like there is more going on there. She mentioned that he's not working out, but did she say that to him? Doesn't sound like she did say that to him. And that she's kind of just taken a few beatings from him and been like, hey, this is what happens, guys. I'm not feeling great right now. I think I'm justified in not feeling great. It's like, what do I do from here? How do I approach the situation? I get where he's coming from. I understand why he's saying what he's saying, what he's doing it, but definitely the most extreme case of wrong place, wrong time. To bring these insecurities up, to bring his emotions, because obviously he's had kids with her. You know, I think they're married. They've done the tough yards. It's like you feel like you can be emotionally open, intimately open about your deepest, darkest thoughts, even if they're, I'd say in this situation, pretty fucked up. Definitely a fucked up thing to say to your wife. It's someone that you care about. It's like, it comes across as you're intentionally putting them down and hurting them.
Yeah.
He should have done it, maybe gone to therapy or something, or talked to someone else first to hash out the conversation.
Yeah, how do I approach this more constructively, at least? Sort of thing.
If I say this, is this going to hurt her? What else can I say?
Yeah.
To kind of, nudge the conversation and how I'm feeling and, like, what can we do about this?
I think there's something, too, where he might have had the intention to think that if I said this to her, it'll motivate her to change things at the gym.
You get that a lot in these stories.
I would not be surprised if he himself was raised with that mentality where if you be blunt and almost to the point where you shame someone for how they look or behave or act, that's how you motivate them, because that's likely how he was being told, and this idea that that's how I'm meant to be motivated, because probably his parents or some friends or teachers as I've growing up told him that's the way, they're shaming me because they think they want me to do better. So that's how I should encourage other people to do better, by telling them they are less than.
Yeah, put them down. That's going to motivate them.
Yeah, when obviously, no, that's not the case. And even if it is for some people, it's not for everyone. It's like that whole thing where if you make a joke about someone, if they aren't laughing with you, it's not a joke, it's an insult.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone brings up a great point here. How would he feel if she wishes his hair was still as thick or had some, or that he was chiseled like some actor? Like, it's that very, very factual thing.
But that makes, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. It sounds like he didn't think this one through and he's just talking off the dome, and he's been comfortable with talking off the dome because, you know, when you're married to someone, you have kids with them, you can have these open conversations. And he's just not put enough thought process into it. Now is the time to be open with him and be like, what you said is really messed up. That really hurt me. I need you to never do that again, and think before you say something that you think could hurt me. I understand it could have been coming from a place of, yeah, you want me to go to the gym and be better like I was before. But the way you're wording it was extremely messed up.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling okay after that.
Yeah, like it. I mean, look, I'm reading a lot of these comments that are really pointing out just how, you know, he's being an absolute a-hole for the way he said this.
Yeah.
Especially after just, what, 2 months after being pregnant?
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah,
You
2
know,
months, and all the people
takes
bringing up how it takes
years.
It takes longer than 2 months to be in your original like physical state as a woman of like, oh, my body is healed from having a child.
You're
It's
still
like
going
that
through
alone.
postpartum.
Yeah, that alone is the thing where it's more evident that he's just further ignorant of the situation here. I don't know. I do feel like we are possibly defending him more than we're intending to.
I get that, but like,
Yeah.
I don't want to just go on him, bash him, and not be like,
think
there's
that's
no
too easy.
alternative to this.
Yeah, I think it's too easy to go
too
down
easy
that
to
route.
wrap the conversation
because
up.
as much as it is possibly very, very true, I don't really think it is as constructive to helping OP navigate through this than just, you know, that's just an easy divorce him sort of response, which
Every
look,
time I'm
probably
like, yeah, he's an asshole. He shouldn't have said that. Anyway, next story.
Yeah, you know, it's like,
Hey.
well, why was he saying that? Because, yeah, end of the day, not everyone is intentionally an asshole. A lot of us are just arrogantly unaware of how stupidly we come across to some people, and you know,
I'm sure if we get his side of the story, we'd be a bit more like, okay, I see the thought process.
yeah, like you're still an idiot, but
Yeah, you're an
I
asshole
understand.
for saying that.
Again, it's like, hey, I understand why you wanted to propose at your friend's wedding, but it's still a stupid reason to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the song choice, appalling. And in that get up, hell no.
Yeah, absolutely.
He looked like a fish, mate. But yeah, no, I think she's 2 months postpartum. She's still going to be feeling like absolute shit about herself. Those hormones take a while to sort themselves out. A lot of people compare like post-pregnancy bounce backs on like Twitter and everything. It's like, wow, Beyonce looks crazy good.
Oh, yeah, I hate
Post-pregnancy
that.
bounce back. Kim Kardashian looks insane with her post-pregnancy bounce back.
Yeah.
There was a rapper that went on stage. I think it was Coyle Ray or something like that. One of these ones. She's full up on stage, just doing a full performance 9 days after giving birth. She's already back up on stage, is going crazy. And it's like, that's probably not healthy. I
Yeah.
don't think you should be performing and like jumping around and everything.
I think
like
too,
that.
these are big celebrities
going
who have
on?
a lot of money for drugs and surgery and stuff. Like the fact that it's so unspoken but so known of just how many men in like and male celebrities when it comes to fitness and stuff, like, oh, they got fit in 6 months for this role. It's steroids and TRT, or like they're all taking
Stuff that
drugs.
most people don't have access to.
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah.
coaching like 2-3 times a day, sort of thing. Like it's intense shit. I would not be surprised if these celebrities who bounce back from their pregnancy are also taking similar sort of drugs and surgeries to just be able to look like that. You know, they achieved the perfect thing that you wish you could have achieved, and
Look
that's
at
why
that
you should keep.
post-pregnancy glow up.
Exactly, and you won't be able to get that. But if you keep following them and what they do in their life, then maybe you could achieve it. Maybe you won't, but maybe if you buy their
Maybe.
product that they're now sponsoring in the next Instagram post. What a coincidence!
Crazy that. These post-pregnancy Vita gummies.
Yeah,
Buy them while they're
ooh,
hot.
detox tea.
They're hot because they have radiation in them.
Yeah, your liver already does this thing, but hey, why not buy a product that makes you think you're doing anything different?
Honest Ads Australia.
Oh man, what a
That's what it sounds like.
that's literally it, eh? Oh,
All right, I think we
yeah.
can start wrapping it up there.
I think
we've,
that's-
had a good little sesh, guys. I hope you liked today's episode.
yeah, I think we did a lot of digressing in today's episode. The
Too much
ADHD was
digressing.
very strong today.
We were stun locked for some of these episodes, like the shambles that we were going on about. I think we kept on topic pretty well, but we can get an audience score. If you're still watching, give us a score out of 10 based on the last 3 episodes we recorded. How did we do today, guys?
If you really have the time, I would love for you to time code the parts of today's video where we suddenly went on a completely a tangent
Different tangent.
that wasn't really related to the story specifically. I'd love to just see how many times you and I accidentally did that.
Yeah, like a lot. I love going on tangents.
I know, they're fun.
Don't stop the tangents.
It's backstory. Don't you want Jack and Markee lore?
That's it.
Come on.
Law. Car crash law.
Yeah, car crash lore.
law. All right, guys, that's where I'll say goodbye. That is the end of the story.
Farewell, friends.
Bye.
Bye.